Welcome to A Guide to Every Deck in Modern. Today we're looking at Humans. Humans is an aggro-tempo tribal deck that plays mostly human creatures for their synergies. The deck's best starts involve either Aether Vial, Noble Hierarch, or Champion of the Parish, followed by multiple additional creatures to put pressure on the opponent or provide stacks effects in the form of Thalia, Meddling Mage, or Kitesail Freebooter. Thalia's Lieutenant, Mantis Rider, and Adeline are additional beaters, with Reflector Mage and Deputy of Detention acting as removal. Imperial Recruiter is a tutor for any creature in the deck, and Phantasmal a copy of anything you need, usually Mantis Rider or Lieutenant, to add on more pressure. There are many other humans the deck can run, but the cards mentioned are the most commonly played ones. Some other notable humans you may consider are Esper Sentinel, Torok, and Upriser Renegade. The best aspect of the deck is its mostly painless rainbow mana base, enabling you to cast any human regardless of its colors. However, this mana base comes with the significant drawback that the deck is severely limited on running anything besides humans. You can run into situations where you can't play Deputy or Phantasmal Image, and the sideboard has to almost entirely be made up of humans and colorless cards. Ancient Ziggurat can add mana for any creature type, but it's bad with Aether Vial and other non-creature spells and has been replaced with Secluded Courtyard. You're also susceptible to Blood Moon if you don't control a basic land, Noble Hierarch, or Aether Vial. Like many tribal decks, Humans is exactly the kind of deck that wants to play Collected Company, but the mana base precludes it. Sideboarding and how to beat it. Different cards serve different functions and can be boarded in and out accordingly. For example, beaters like Champion are good when you need to race, but not in grindy matchups. Thalia is good for spell decks, but not against creatures, and so on. The deck cannot win before turn 4, no matter how busted its draw, and thus must rely on disruptive cards like Thalia to stop the opponent, similar to how D&T functions. Counterspells are terrible against humans since their creatures are cheap and they run Aether Vial, Cavern of Souls, and Thalia. A huge drawback of the deck is that you need specific cards in your opening hand or else be too slow, specifically Noble Hierarch or Aether Vial. While you can keep certain hands without them in some circumstances, for example Thalia versus Storm, this is rare and you almost always need one of those two cards. The odds of having either one in your opening hand are only approximately 65%, meaning you need to mulligan a staggering 35% of the time. And unfortunately, tribal decks in general have taken a beating in recent years and are now largely unplayable. This is due to an increase in value-generating cards such as Omnath and powerfully efficient removal like Prismatic Ending, Unholy Heat, Solitude, and especially Fury. Tribal decks are generally slower than other aggro decks and can simply no longer compete with the power of mid-range and control decks such as 4-color Blink. In order for tribal decks to get back on the map, they'll need new additions that either provide explosively fast starts or value engines. Tips and tricks. You can use Aether Vial or Collected Company to flash in creatures in response to Thalia's Lieutenant's trigger, giving a +1 counter to each of them. You can activate Aether Vial in your upkeep to flash in a lower mana value creature before you take up its counters. It's important to understand how other decks operate so you know what to name with Meddling Mage and Sanctum Prelate. You can win some matchups just from what you name. Adeline's power is fluid, and so whether you can fetch it with Imperial Recruiter depends on your board state. I hope you've enjoyed this look at Humans. I want to thank my fellow players in the Magic community for whom sharing their experiences helps make these guides possible. You can find additional resources, such as an up-to-date deck list, in the description. If you think I left out anything important or got something wrong, please leave your thoughts in the comments, and stay tuned to see what deck we look at next time.